Alright,
Let's
alright,
talk
some
some.
Zion. So yesterday, Zion Williamson, high school basketball star, committed to Duke University. He chose Duke over Kentucky, UNC, Kansas, and his hometown Clemson in South Carolina, and this shocked the college basketball world. He's the ESPN number 2 ranked player in the class of 2018, 6'7", 270-pound power forward with incredible highlight reel athleticism. Now he is undersized, and I wouldn't compare him physically to someone like Charles Barkley, like a lot of others have, as Charles Barkley's wingspan was a lot larger than Zion's, which is only 6'10". But his athleticism is light years above what Charles Barkley was. It's not knocking Charles Barkley as an athlete, because he was athletic, and that's how he made his role in the NBA. But Zion is one of the most athletic players that we've seen come out of high school. Um, so he's missed time in his senior season with a foot injury for the Spartanburg Griffins. So looking at his junior season stats, he put up 37 points a game, 13 rebounds a game, 3 assists per game, 3 steals a game, and just about 2.5 blocks a game. And his shooting splits are partly impressive, partly not. So he shot 76% from the field. Most of his attempts were in transition, cutting to the basket, and dunk attempts incredibly high still, especially with his volume of scoring. 37 points a game at 76% shooting is unreal. He only shot 30% from 3, career 26% shooter. It's not really a part of his game at the moment which stands out, and that's why he's more listed as a power forward rather than a small forward given his height. But it is a developing part of his game, and watching his footage back, you can see that he is developing a stroke in that mid post with a fadeaway. I'm not saying that's a 3-point shot, but it makes me hopeful. He's a 67% free throw shooter, which isn't the best, but he shoots just over 9 free throws a game. So that gives me hope that, because it is that's a bit of a large volume on a daily or game by game basis, and he shot just over 2 threes a game, making just under 1. So there is potential as a shooter, even though a lot of people call him a non-shooter. His mechanics are a bit, I wouldn't say they're unorthodox, but they're not perfect. But at an NBA level, that's something that can be fixed, and we've got to remember he's just 17. So he'll be playing alongside number 1 ranked player RJ Barrett and number 3 ranked player Cam Reddish on this Duke team. This is one of Duke's best recruiting classes of all time. They've got the number 1 player, the number 2 player, and the number 3 player. I'm not sure if that's ever been done before, so I'll just go into the other players that will be on the team. So RJ Barrett, the number 1 ranked player from Montverde Academy, he dominated Team USA in the under-19s. He led Canada to their first under-19 championship. He's a 6'7" wing player, can play the 2, can play the 3, potential to play the 1 watching back his Canada games at the under-19s. He's currently projected as the number 1 pick in the 2019 NBA draft. He's an incredible all-around player. He's got the best scoring instincts of this class and the draft class that he'll be in. His defensive potential, he's got the lateral quickness, he's got the length, he's got the instincts. I imagine that he'll produce as an incredible two-way player. He's really developing the playmaking side of his game, a really versatile, solid player, and he's got the athleticism. So I'm imagining he'll be a top-tier player and that he'll be the unanimous number 1 pick when the 2019 draft rolls around. And Zion will also be playing with Cam Reddish from West Town, another 6'7" wing player. He's a really skill-heavy player. He's a crafty scorer. If I was to choose 2 words to describe the way he plays, it'd be smooth and silky. He's got a really nice jump shot. He can spread the floor. He's great in the catch and shoot. He's got a nice pull-up in the mid-range, which these days is an underrated part of a player's game. That's what separates your good scorers from your great scorers, is that mid-range shot. He's also plays a point forward role. He's a really good ball handler for his size and could honestly give Duke a lot of versatility, especially beside RJ Barrett. And they're really similar players, but I'd give RJ Barrett the nod there. And out of the three of them, I'd put Zion as the third best. So Duke's possible starting lineup could consist of Trey Jones at the point guard, who will also be a freshman next season. He's related to Tyus Jones of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm pretty sure he's his younger brother. He's a great playmaker, I imagine. I don't know if he's going to stay for 1 year or a few years, but he's a really solid player, and I imagine he'll be a large part and an underrated part to that Duke team's success. You've got RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish on the wing, of course. Zion Williamson will probably play the 4 for Coach K and his team. And then at the 5, they can either put Javin DeLaurier there. He's a sophomore this season, I'm pretty sure. Or Marquise Bolden, who was a former projected lottery pick, but injuries have really hampered his career. It depends whether he stays at Duke, though, because there was rumours that he was wanting to transfer last season, but stayed. They could also play incredibly small ball and throw in Alex O'Connell, who will be a sophomore next season, at the 2, and push RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish up at the 3 and the 4, and play 6'7" Zion Williamson at the 5. I doubt they do that, but that could be really interesting in certain situations, especially like experience-wise for Zion when playing against weaker teams without the size. They have less depth than last year, I'll say that. Everyone's going crazy about how overpowered they are and comparing them to when KD joined the Warriors. They're losing many of their freshmen, like Marvin Bagley will be leaving, Gary Trent will be leaving. You know, you're losing that kind of depth, and you're also losing Grayson Allen, who's the heart and soul of this team. So I imagine they're going to feel like a very different team next year, but they'll still be pretty dominant. So talking about Zion, go over his strengths. Highlight real athleticism. He jumps out of the gym at the rim. If you meet him there, he's got an NBA body and the strength to completely body you. And at the rim, his height, of course, will dictate his success partly. Being a 6'7" power forward and relying mainly on athleticism may be a bit of a struggle. I want him to be playing the 3 more because as a power forward these days you've got a lot of players coming in, like you've got your Marvin Bagley and you've got your Lauri Markkanen and these guys who stretch the floor a bit and they play big as well. And I don't know how Zion would compete against them. And we don't know this because he's played against a lot of weak competition so far. Most of the teams he plays against, they're 5-foot white kids pretty much. So of course he's going to be dominating them. And I'm really looking forward to this college season because we're going to be able to see, look, these are his weaknesses, even though they'll be partly hidden by being on this amazing team, and these are his strengths. He's an above average ball handler. He's pretty crafty. I didn't realize he was this, smooth at ball handling, and this gives me hope that he can play on the wing a bit more. He's got strong power dribbles and powerful hop steps. His hop steps are some of the best I've seen. His defensive potential, those volleyball swats at the rim, I don't know how he fares laterally against wing players, and I don't know if he'll be able to, defend those inside heavy power forwards in the NBA, but time will tell how that works out. So I've said he is undersized. He's lacking quite a jump shot. He doesn't have it at the level which scouts would hope so, but then again he's 17. Hopefully Coach K can fix it up and we can see him take more of a stretch four role as well, which means he could possibly play the 3. Is his game translatable? He's a bit of a tweener. There hasn't really been a player similar to Zion. Like, people say LeBron. Oh yeah, you can compare him to LeBron or Charles Barkley or Larry Johnson. He doesn't directly compare to any of them really. He compares partly in ways, but not completely. But aside from that, I think Zion Williamson will be a top 10 pick in the 2019 NBA draft. He's an exciting player. I can't wait to watch him at Duke. I am disappointed he went to Duke and not somewhere like Clemson or South Carolina, because if he went to one of those smaller schools, as a fan, I would have loved to see that, because then you can see him be the man, and as a scout you can say, this is what he can do, this is what he can't do. You get a fairer idea of what kind of player he is because he is the man there. but by going to this bigger school, it didn't really work out like that, because these other good players, he's going to be able to hide behind them, and he doesn't have to show off everything he can do, because they'll be able to take over that role, because he isn't the best player on the team anymore. But anyway, it will be certainly fun to watch Duke dominate, if you're a Duke fan, of course. But for the rest of us, good luck. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening. I hope to make videos like this in the future, talking about similar subjects.